Being a little after 6:30, we're going to open the July 15th, 2026 Charlton Planning Board meeting. The first thing on the agenda is the public hearing for the New England Power Company. Notice of public hearing, Charlton Planning Board, in accordance with section 200, 3.26W and 200, 7.2G of the Charlton zoning bylaw. The Charlton Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, July 15th, 2026 at 6:30 in the Planning Board office. In person at the George McKinstry Municipal Building, 37 Main Street, Charlton, Arizona 507, on the request of New England Power Company. 170 David Drive, Waltham, Mass. 02451, to install an electrical substation to provide power to the Amazon warehouse facility located at 53 Sturbridge Road. The property is located at 29 Snake Hill Road, assesses map 44, Block B, Lot 9. The property is in the agricultural R60, in zone, the AR60 zone district. Copies of the site plan application are available for inspection at the planning board office and the town clerk's office during regular business hours. Any person interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. Then I will open it up to you so you can present your item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Judy Peck from the law firm Babbage & Dewey. I'm here tonight with several members of the project team, project manager Ryan Fun, Ryan Dale from Civil Environment, and Allison Millen. Nailed it. So, in Daenerys, sorry, I didn't, in Daenerys. So, we're here tonight, as you mentioned, for a special permit for the construction and installation of an electric substation along Snake Hill Road and Carpenter Hill Road, to be known as the Snake Hill Substation number 2235. So in 2023, the applicant sought and obtained a special permit for a temporary substation in support of the phased Amazon facility construction, and is now seeking to build a more permanent substation. Once the new substation is fully built out, the temporary substation and feeder will be removed and retired. So the property, if you flip through to the next slide, is currently comprised of the temporary modular integrated transportable substation and the related equipment and facilities, known as Carpenter Hill Substation, and a 1 megawatt ground-mounted solar array that is currently owned and operated by National Grid. The project is necessary to support the electrical load needed for the new Amazon Robotics sortation warehouse at 53 Sturbridge Road, and to maintain the overall reliability of electric service within the town. So some specific project details. The project work, well actually if you go through some of the additional slides, there's some photos of the temporary substation and what it looks like currently, as well as the intended design of the project. So what the project scope entails is approximately 49,300 square foot substation yard, which will include related equipment, facilities, and a control house building. It's about 864 square feet. That is just there to house some of the equipment, protect it from the weather. Some chain link security fencing, which is National Grid standard, 8 feet with 1 foot of barbed wire for security purposes. An approximately 750-foot extension of the existing gravel access driveway to access the new permanent substation. Retaining wall, bathroom structure for the employees that are there. Various underground systems, stormwater and drainage facilities. Because this will continue to be an unmanned facility, we don't anticipate any impacts to noise, traffic, light as a result of the project. And then just for some background information, we have been in constant communication with the town about this project, with the abutters who are actually here tonight about this project, and will continue to do so, and are happy to answer any questions that you ask at this stage, but we are still working through some of the peer review comments.
Latest from July 15th. have that here. One copy here. This out to you. In just a moment. You should have more copies. We'll get the boards.
It wasn't in the packets.
We only have one copy.
Pat, I mean, do you want copies for everyone?
Everyone. Yeah, we'll make the copies, but we want to see, we used to have them.
There's no packets?
Okay. Well, she's getting copies, can we talk about it? Yeah. This is also to support future growth. What do you expect for future growth? More renewable energy, or, because it continues to snow, right, the Snow Street substation?
There's two substations in that area. There's the Snow Street substation and there's the Temple Hill substation.
Okay, and so, future growth, can you give us any idea?
I don't have the numbers off the top of my head. We have plenty of applicants that are applying to build. They're in study right now, but I don't have anything definitive right now.
Okay, building in Charlton?
It would be building that would be connecting into the new substation, yes. I don't know exactly where they would be.
Because we're being approached by renewables, so
Sure.
it's nice to know what's coming down the pipeline. Now, originally when Amazon came to the town, we had asked if they were doing solar, and they said not at this time. And now, because they weren't prepared for the energy needs, we're building more substations for them. So it's unfortunate that Amazon didn't also become green like states pushing, so. So pretty much anybody can tie in into this bill. Meaning that if there was another battery farm facility proposed, this is another opportunity then, an additional battery farm with compete with that energy somehow. Okay.
Where's the temporary substation?
On the map itself. So it's right up, it's south of the solar array, right? Yeah, it's south of the solar array on the
Solar
area.
array.
Yeah.
So it's the trailer unit on that the cleared area.
Does that substation go all the way, is it connected to the Carpenter Hill substation now, that temporary one?
So the temporary one is connected in through our W123 transmission line.
Yeah.
The W123 runs from Snow Street to the Carpenter Hill substation.
Yeah.
We're going to be tapping the U173, which runs parallel to the W123, and also goes from Snow Street to the Carpenter Hill.
So you're using W123 right now?
Currently for the temporary, yes.
And you're disconnecting that
We will disconnect it in the future after this new permanent is online.
and use the U173.
Correct.
This is 115 kilovolts,
115, yeah.
which is the U173.
Correct.
What's the 13.2? What's the slash?
We dropped it down to 13.2.
Yeah. And then
It steps
distributes.
Correct. It steps down, yeah. So you take in on the high on the 115, then it steps down to 13.2.
You said this is going to be an unmanned station.
Correct.
Will there be any security around this at all? Do we need security around this?
Typically the 8-foot high fence with the 1 foot of barbed wire. There's gates attached to the substation which will be locked unless there's maintenance workers coming. In my experience, there hasn't been any need for further
I
security.
mean, like, because anybody could come up with a set of bolt cutters, whether it's an 8-foot high or a 20-foot high or a 3-foot high, they're going to get in. And not picking at it, but I'm just wondering, as far as, this is coming in, should there be also security, should be a security company watching over this if something comes onto the project?
No.
Have you had problems with any of the other substations?
No. So the other substations that are in the area, Snow Street and Carpet Hill, are also unmanned.
Yeah, okay, I understand, I'm just saying,
Sure.
I think if there was a need for it, we would certainly
I
want to
agree.
ensure our
I
equipment
just
is
wanted to
protected. It's
say
very
that now,
dangerous to,
say
if you're not
it's
trained.
something to look at,
So it'd be a full,
yeah.
Excuse me, can I interject? We live at Ray Underwood on Snake Hill. We live right across the street, and we always keep a close eye on the premises.
So typically what we do is we let the board ask questions, and then we'll open it up, and all the public can make as many comments as the board, so, just. Not that we don't want you to ask questions, we just,
Madam Chairman, do you have a decommissioning plan for this site?
It's not part of what we've submitted right now, but the decommissioning plan would be after the permanent substation is fully built and commissioned, we will then take an outage to be able to cut over the old into the new, decommission the old. Right now, the old one has a block wall, retaining wall that's holding up the substation, fenced in. We're going to remove everything, leave the compound itself with the fence. But otherwise, everything will be removed as soon as we're commissioned with this permanent.
Why leave the compound with the fence?
I'm sorry?
Why leave the fence up? And not restore it to
Potential storage for other projects or for maintenance pieces for this project.
Because I seem to recall that the plan was to completely remove it, according to the site plan for the temporary substation. And I thought it was going to go back to the natural setting, is what I remember. But we can look at that site plan again and make sure that.
Yeah, I don't know if the plan was to completely remove it. I can look into it.
Yeah, it
Jane,
might have been a condition.
will you pull the temporary, the paperwork from the temporary one, not right now, but for the next meeting, so we know what the decommissioning details are and stuff? Thank you.
So, are you continuing to lease or own the temporary substation property? You own-
New England Power owns the whole.
We own the whole
Yep, the whole, lot. So there's no lease.
Yeah, so you're continuing to own it, so you can do something else there if you need to.
Correct. Yeah.
Do you have a decommissioning plan for the new substation? Like, can we get a decommissioning plan for the new substation?
To remove the new substation.
Yeah, what's the life of the new substation?
Oh, I'd have to get back to you on that. I don't think it's been considered that we would ever remove it.
Yeah, just updated.
Yeah, I mean, we typically have, we do asset condition reports to determine the life expectancy of equipment after it's been commissioned. And we typically don't decommission the whole substation. We replace failing materials before they're going to fail and it turns into an emergency. So I don't think we have necessarily a decommissioning plan for the permanent, but we definitely have maintenance that happens and they try to determine, does anything need to be fixed.
Yeah. How about, should we entertain conditions on storage of old equipment or removal of replaced equipment instead of leaving it
So
inside?
it's not gonna end up being a junkyard?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we've done that before, and I don't see problems with any of the other, that's usually good recyclable material that they're not going to be brought out. Question, just slipped my mind. How much of it is left to do for the Graves report to satisfy that? How long do you think it's going to take it to get everything need for?
Oh, the peer review report for this
Yeah,
project?
peer review.
I mean, I don't want to speak for the entire civil team, but I don't think we identified any glaring issues with it upon our review. It's just a matter of providing the civil plan updates. I got a sheet showing the lighting, the landscaping, which is mostly just like reseeding of the substation. So items like that, they're more cleanup items that we just didn't have time to address for this meeting. But I think we're hopeful that by the next meeting we'll have a clean bill of health.
Okay. I'm looking at it now, so most of it's been acknowledged by Graves, and it just seems to be some, okay.
I have a question again, Madam Chair. It looks like it's twice the size of the temporary, is that correct? Just by I'm looking at your.
This new substation here is going to be just under 50,000 square feet. I don't know what the square footage is of the temporary substation. It is fairly small.
And you own the whole parcel? What keeps happening in town is wildlife fragmentation, because we're taking large tracts of land, removing all the trees and fencing it in, so everybody's complaining of bears all over. But again, is there any way to maybe designate some open space that you're not going to expand upon to kind of help the town keep some kind of its charm of wildlife and help the corridors stay intact?
So I know generally speaking, the company is subject to like electric safety codes, regulations that kind of prevent us from committing to certain things. You know, we certainly wouldn't want to encourage people to walk through
No, I'm
the
saying
property.
wildlife.
So, yeah,
I mean,
understood.
Otherwise, I have concerns that there's going to be build out from there all the way to Route 20, because there are some large parcels, and some of the state owns the building rights on some. So,
My understanding is that there are some challenging wetland on this property. We have a conservation hearing tonight, actually. That we're going through that process. I don't know if it's feasible. I know as a general practice, we don't like to say that we'll never do it.
we don't like having things forced to
But we would be right back here before you again if we were to expand. So you would have the opportunity at that point in time to tell us.
Is this a retaining wall in front between you and the solar field?
Yep, that's a retaining wall and fence.
And just that, any other retaining wall around the property, or just that one between you and the solar field?
That's definitely the most significant one. There might be, depending on where the design goes, a couple more in this area here, which are more of a head wall.
Yeah. For a culvert or something under there?
Yes, that's helpful too. Yeah. So we're working through that design now, so don't have a final answer on where we'll land there, but it will definitely involve some sort of head
This
wall.
is for the
Yeah.
temporary.
But it should be less significant than.
Well, this isn't the original.
Yeah.
Wall at most.
Yep.
This is for the temporary electrical station, the temporary substation. So this is kind of a follow-up on what is on Snake Hill currently. It's the temporary.
This is the most recent that you received from so this month, July.
Okay.
This is something that
You don't have a copy of the Grade Street, the latest.
For the phase 3, I don't have a copy on.
This is just a completion.
Is that the
What I see here is just a
phase
completion review of the final completion review number 2 for the temporary.
Yeah.
So that's going on at the same time?
We're working on closing that one out. I think the only remaining item is the rain garden. But we're working to finish that.
Okay.
Sorry, I wish I had it with me. But we haven't really had the opportunity to have a full response to those.
Should we just continue it?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, we could get some input from.
So let's take some, do we have any more questions from the board? Let's take some audience questions, comments, concerns, on the project?
Name and address. Your name and address.
Yeah, and just, when you speak, just please let us know your name and your address for the record.
Ray and Kendra Underwood, across the street, 30 Snake Hill Road. We've lived through the solar project and the temporary project in 2023. Not that we like change, but we've got to say that National Grid has been a good neighbor. They've been very considerate of things that are happening when the road's going to be closed, and we appreciate that. So as much as we hate to see the wildlife disturbed, we have to go with the change.
And honestly, we haven't seen the Graves report, so we can't talk about this like screening or what are you guys seeing. I don't have anything yet, but we will in the future so we can see what you see. I guess.
Yeah, we appreciate that you're kind of overseeing too. I mean, it's hard to see the change, but they've been very, very considerate.
Any other questions? So, good. I don't have a Graves report, so I don't know if what's open, but when do you want to come back?
The next available meeting in August, the 19th, I think.
So,
Do you have the amount of clearing that you're going to do? It's tough to tell from these.
The limit of disturbance.
Yes. Is it
One.
Is it more over there?
So it's a bit small on the plan, but it's also on here.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a little over 150,000 square feet of disturbance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily all tree clearing.
I was just kind of curious what the visuals would be like from Carpenter Hill or Snake.
yeah, I just want to. I want to see what any others are seeing and make sure that they're not looking at a big ugly building or anything like that. So we like to. If so, we would want some screening and stuff. But
It does look like it's deep into the woods.
It's very far back. We're
Sure.
extending it from where it is now, basically an extra 750 feet in. So it's going to be pretty far away. The only building is going to be that control house, which is only 24 feet in height.
And just clearing for the access, not around the access.
Right. Yeah.
And how high are the poles?
I believe the terminal structure might be, is it 50 feet?
I'm not sure. So.
We can get back to you on that.
I know there's one expansion going on now where in some spots from the old wooden ones, they're going up to 25 feet. So just for the neighbors to know how far.
lighting or anything like that. I just haven't. Typically we see a plan or something more. We kind of did this a little bit off today. So we'll be more prepared for the next meeting. We'll be able to go through Graves' comments and.
One of the missing items from the Graves report was having like some form of lighting sheet that shows what it is, but it's going to be like typical cast lighting, like for the substation itself, like the substation yard. It's not going to be like poles everywhere.
So, when is our meeting in August?
August 12th.
I just want to make a motion to continue the application for New England Power Company site plan Snake Hill Road to the 12th of August.
Second.
Oh, motion? Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're going to, August 2nd.
Do you understand?
I'm an alternate,
Oh, you're not. Okay, thank you.
so I'm no special.
I just have my notes. Right. And also appreciate
I'm
you.
not in the Nice to see Kendra. Take care.
Good seeing you.
All right. Do I have a notice to read for the, bargaining?
Yeah, a good amount of
So, but I can, you can check the file. Second, and put it in.
And when I put section section 205.13 and 207.2G of Charlton's zoning bylaw, the Charlton Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, July 15th, 2026 at 6:35 p.m. in the Planning Board office in the George Street Building, 37 Main Street, Charlton, Mass. On the application of Elliot Burlingame, Signs, Inc., 96, number 16 House Road, Charlton, Mass. 507 for approval of one proposed reduced frontage lot totaling 5 acres to construct a single-family home on said lot located off of A.F. Putnam, Charlton, Mass. Assessors map 70, block A, lot 8.5, 8.6, and 15. Said property is zoned agricultural. Copies of the reduced frontage permit application are available for inspection at the planning board and town clerk's office during regular business hours.
How you doing? Jason DuBois, DC Engineering and Survey. I do have new plans that basically talked to Dylan yesterday, and Kurt informed us that at the May meeting they changed setbacks for the frontage lot, so we just changed that on the plan to show the 30-foot side and rear setback on here. So actually want these copies instead to look at. Basically the same thing.
Just lay it up over.
So that's the dotted line, 30
Yeah.
foot is
Yep.
50 feet.
Yep, and then the 200 from the road. Also, this did go to Graves for them to look at, and they had a couple of comments. One was to just show proposed house location, a note about the lot can't be further subdivided, and then he just had a question about the upland requirement note that we had on there. So I think we took care of all that. But basically, they're cutting out the lot where the house is now, which I believe is 93. And they're gonna have 5 acres remaining with the 50-foot minimum frontage. And the access strip is 163 feet, which I believe it can be up to 600.
And 75 feet here,
Yes. Yep. Actually, there's another little strip of 12 too, right there. So there's like, there's like almost 90 feet.
What's it, WCH?
What's the common highway bound?
I got you. That's not a property fund, that's
It's just a highway marker. Yeah. Yep.
plus. Is that utility pole over in front of that?
Utility pole?
This one?
Yeah. Yeah, that is right in front of us. Yep. But that won't, the driveway will just come in somewhere.
Yeah.
So did you say that 93 was going away? Is that
That's on the yeah. So we did an A&R on this,
okay?
like maybe a month and a half ago, because in the back, that lot 99.1 was added to this whole thing to make this so that it'd be 5 acres. But now they're cutting out the house, which I think the house is about ready to go on the market at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was added from the neighbor
Yeah.
to this piece to make it to 5 acres.
And then they can this section over here?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, that farm lot has got the minimum area in frontage.
But it's not deeded to Barnes yet?
It's on a contract as a purchase and sale. Yeah.
All right.
But they don't, it's kind of contingent on this.
On this
Because they're not
plan,
going to buy it if they, you know.
Yeah. So they haven't done an A&R to split this out yet?
Well, it would all be done like on this plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is, okay.
Yeah. Which I have some
To split that lot out. Yeah, there's two things that's happening here. They're splitting this lot off of this and creating a use frontage lot.
And they added that to this.
They added that
That's
to
where
this
you got the
Yeah,
five
yeah,
acres.
yeah.
Just let me get there.
That's another fact. That's a separate parcel owned by the same person in the front. This Philip
Yeah.
Johnson owned that in that piece. You know, it's just a landlocked piece. Yeah.
Good?
Any other board questions? Any other questions?
Public? Make a motion to approve the reduced frontage lot on 8 Putnam Road for Burlingame and Sons. Lot number 93.1-1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you.
All right, did you want to sign the Mylar? or-
Yeah.
We can come back tomorrow too if you.
We can sign it.
Yeah, we'll sign it.
Yeah. We can do it.
I mean, unless you really want to come in here and visit the planning board.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll walk. We'll just wait there,
We'll walk around. It's easier than passing.
we'll get up to the side. You can sign it.
You want to date it?
Oh, I didn't want to catch it. I would have.
Do you already have the gas station?
Yes, thank you. I think that went around first. Thanks.
Good. You got the line open for you. Okay, pitch him a line. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, thank you. Good night.
So, did everybody have a second to look over this report? And I will, we have a continued public hearing for Hayden Enterprises LLC for the special permit for the proposed gas station, convenience store located on Worcester Road.
You're also for the Concom, right?
Yes.
Did you meet with Concom?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're going after. Okay. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, my name is Al Chuba. I'm a consulting engineer with offices at 112 State Road in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. This is our second time here. If you recall, back in June, on June 17th, we came to this board. It was the first meeting, and as I indicated at that time, it was kind of an introductory meeting to introduce the project and get some feedback from the neighbors and the residents. So just a quick recap. I know you have a new planner, and also you have a lengthy hearing tonight. I just take a couple minutes just to walk you through the projects and also bring you up to speed to what happened between the last meeting and tonight. So basically, we're here for the proposed gasoline filling station with a convenience store and drive-through with 5 residential units on top. And the project is located at the intersection of Worcester Road and Old Worcester Road. I do have an aerial mapping here showing also the surrounding residents, and I have some distances too, because I was here last time, and I know that some of the residents were here that were concerned about this project. So
Can I turn this towards the camera? just a little
absolutely.
bit?
I'm not
Please,
sure.
yeah.
I think that's what I did last time, but
Yeah, just to make sure. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're good? beautiful dog, we should see it. Watch on TV.
This is the site. So the site is located in the community business, and it's about 4.7 acres. Most of the 2.5 acres in the front was graded and associated with the gravel operation on sites, which has been going on for decades, I believe. Access to the site is via existing gravel driveway from Old Worcester Road. As I had indicated before, about 2.5 acres of the site were disturbed. The proposal is for the gasoline station, as I indicated last time too. A gasoline filling station is allowed use as of right in the district. We're here for the drive-through, special permit, and the mixed use with the apartments on the second floor. Let me just quickly go through some of the concerns that the residents had at the last time. I think there were concerns about lighting, concerns about screening, concerns about noise, concerns about environmental. So with this sketch, I can tell you that the closest resident to this is about 450 feet. This guy is 580. They all numbered with the addresses. This guy is 525. A big portion of the vegetated area separates the project from the residents, but I understand we're not here winter time and we lose this, so we propose to provide, and I sent the memo to the board, to the planning board last time. I'm not sure if you got my memo, but basically what we propose to shield the residents from the activities on site. We propose the fence all along the south and the east of the property. It's going to be 6 foot high wood fence, white cedar fence. We do have a small retaining wall in the back in order to not to do any grading within the buffer of the wetland. And also we have guardrail, we have some planting arborvitaes in the back behind the fence. So we understand in the winter time you lose the buffer with the leaves, and so at least they're concerned about the lighting and people turning with the drive-through, and so that's not going to happen. Also, there were concerns about the lighting from the gas station. I would just indicate that at the last, I think with this package and the last package, we did submit the photometric projection of the project. There'll be no spillage of light on adjacent properties or streets. We comply with the zoning bylaws. There was concerns about the traffic. Also, I do have the traffic engineer here tonight, and I will leave it up to the traffic engineer, but the traffic engineer was working with your traffic engineer, and I'm not sure if your traffic engineer is here tonight. I'm hoping. Okay, great. So they can, I believe most of the concerns were addressed, but they can confirm that. The traffic, lighting, environmental, there was also concerns about the environmental, and I indicated last time that all the tanks would be double wall tanks with 24-hour monitoring, and also on the stormwater system we do have installed emergency valves in case there's a large spill on site, that those valves can closed off and then will prevent any oil from going either into the ground or the and just to let you know also all the catch basins on site are equipped with oil water separators, and they have a 4-foot sump, so each sump can hold about 350 to 400 gallons of gasoline in case there's any spillage on site. We do have also, you probably have your report from the civil peer review. At the first submission, I think there was about maybe 46 comments. Not all the comments are addressed. There's still some comments are open, but I would say 75 to 80% of the comments were addressed, and we anticipate to resolve all the rest of the comments at the next submission. Also, there was a concern about the water system, and because the residents were concerned about the pressure, I did schedule a pressure test, and it's on the 21st at 9 o'clock. So based on that,
From the hydrant?
from the hydrant, yes,
Okay.
at the hydrant at the end of Old Worcester Road,
Yeah.
because this is where we're tying to the line. So depends on the pressure test results. If we don't have good pressure, the apartments are gone. We're not going to have that. So that's not going to be a concern. We take safety very, we don't take it lightly. So we understand. And
What pressure are you looking for? What's the requirement?
I think normally 40 psi is the minimum that most of the state and towns go by. But it's not my specialty. I hired the mechanical engineer. He's going to do this test, and he's coordinating with the fire department. So depending on that, if we have a good pressure, we'll keep the apartments. We don't have good pressure, I think we'll probably take those out. So,
Thanks for letting us
right.
know.
And again, we'll be complying with all, there was few comments that were left open to the fire department, and I think the traffic engineer will speak to that, and Mass DOT, because as you know, Route 20 is under the jurisdiction of Mass DOT, so if there's any changes on the traffic patterns or any changes to the curb cuts, we will have to come back to this board with the revised plan.
Do you have any feedback from MassDOT yet?
Not yet with MassDOT, but ultimately MassDOT will not act on the application until we have all the local approval. So we can probably
Condition. Is there a slowdown lane to turn into the curb cut or to turn into the facility, or?
not at this time, but this is going to be reviewed. I think this will be part of Mass DOT review. So
That is a lot of heavy traffic along
Yep.
there, and
yeah.
to get slow traffic out of the way to turn, it would.
Right, and I think the traffic consultants probably best answer this question, but I think that would be reviewed under the curb cut, the location of the driveways, confirming the site distance and the speed and the width, and all that will probably be reviewed by Mass DOT or whoever has jurisdiction over the project. At this time, I would like to answer any questions, but as I indicated, the traffic engineer is here too, and he'd be able to answer any questions.
Do we? I don't think we've seen the report, the traffic report, or is there something you can talk about?
Sure. Just by way of introduction, I'm Bob Michaud. I'm the managing principal of MDM Transportation Consultants. We've done a number of reviews through the years for Charlton, and so we've conducted a thorough review of this project. We've suggested additional information and analysis, which has been provided to us. I don't need to go through point by point up, but I'll hit the highlights. We cited, and Mr. Chuba has correctly pointed out, that the driveway designs and orientation will be subject to Mass DOT review. It is Mass DOT's preference to have as few driveways as possible on state highway. And so in part of our earlier commentary, we inquired about the status of this connection, this gravel path to Old Worcester Road, which would allow, if it were formalized, one means of getting to the signal to be able to make a left turn in particular. I suspect DOT will ask the same question, but our understanding of the plan is that will remain a gravel way for emergency egress or access purposes. We would defer to the fire department on their specific requirements for the gravel path. If it's to be used for that purpose, we want to make sure that the structural loads, the H20 loading that is required is met for that gravel way. And we would discourage the use of the gravel way by suggesting that it be gated on the Old Worcester Road side so that it's not confusing for anybody. No one suggests that it might be used as a shortcut. So that remains kind of an open issue, but I think as the driveways have been most recently modified, it does partially at least address some of our initial comments. We noted that in the initial design, the driveways were intended to be enter only on the west driveway and exit only on the east driveway. And because of the orientation of the signal, we were concerned that the easterly driveway would require that vehicles get to the so-called U-turn lane to cross over several lanes in a rather short distance, particularly because the queuing from that signal goes back about 250 feet. And so the design change that was made was to convert the westerly driveway to a right in, right out. So it afforded the ability for somebody to make that turn further downstream. And we acknowledge that that's a benefit. The commentary that DOT might have on that is that the width of the driveway, because it's designed for those larger WB67 sweeps, is very wide. And it would encourage higher entering speeds. And because you've got a mix of traffic, people who may be living here, getting to the driveway, or leaving from a pump to get to the driveway, crossing over those higher speed volume vehicles. There's a potential that DOT would request that the width of the driveway be tightened a little bit, and there are ways to do that. There's scored concrete mountable features that could be introduced that still allow for the larger sweep, but encourage passenger vehicles to be more careful if they come in. So we're deferring to Mass DOT's ultimate determination here. I think the access as it's laid out is reasonable, subject to additional changes that DOT will most likely ask for. As it relates to circulation, we just want to make sure that the fire department is comfortable with the vehicle type that was used. It's a 48-foot long tower vehicle. I believe it's reasonable. It does show that it has adequate ability to get into and out of. The one concern really relates to wintertime conditions is the snow storage. It's not typically something that we comment on because we're kind of confined to access and circulation. But the storage areas are actually contained within the paved areas of the site, and they're rather narrow, frankly. So we're just questioning the practicality of certain snow storage areas in the volume, the actual volume of snow that they could contain, and whether or not there might be a practical outcome of those storage areas kind of being larger than they're shown on the plan, which could impair circulation. Right? So we're suggesting that there be a snow management plan here so that snow be removed from the site to the extent it has any potential effect on circulation. And you don't want to have snow melt happening during wintertime in these large masses of snow. Just freeze-thaw situations happen. It's not ideal. We understand the applicant confirm whether or not there is any ability to have those snow storage areas on landscaped areas off of the paved area. There may be some environmental sensitivities to that, I don't know. But that's something that's maybe part of the snow management plan that we're suggesting be produced. As it relates to other aspects of the project, they've addressed our series of comments related to adjusting trip generation and distribution assumptions. We're comfortable with the analysis. We believe that there's ample capacity to accommodate this particular use, as a substantial number of the vehicles that would be using it are in fact what's known as pass-by, especially for the coffee component. We did suggest formally designating resident spaces so that they're not parked by commercial entity use. They've done that. As far as the drive-through is concerned, they have ample on-site storage capacity for that queuing area. We do not expect it to influence the parking field. I believe they can stack at least 10 and perhaps closer to 12 vehicles around the periphery of the building and the landscape area before those vehicles would have any influence on the circulation within the site itself. Generally, they've been responsive to the comments, but for those series of remaining questions, and certainly anticipate some change to the driveways based on DOT input.
Is it, so as far as a slow down lane to pull into there, is that something DOT would
it's
be reserved?
They, in very unique circumstances, would require a deceleration lane. For commercial properties along Route 20, it is not common, but they may require what's called a transition taper, which is, angling the curb radius in such a way that it facilitates a higher speed movement that gently decelerates. The issue there is going to be the width of the driveway. You don't want to have this, a vehicle coming in at 50 miles an hour slowing down to 30 in this kind of an environment. So that is a likely change that DOT would see.
So that's one of my concerns in that area. You do get some high-speed vehicles that are exceeding the limit there, coming into that light. Now, we do have a light there to slow people down, but that's a little bit before it, and it's always been a problem.
Right.
And I'd hate to see something happen there.
Yeah, we've designed many sites like this throughout the Commonwealth. Webster most recently actually had a very similar circumstance. And what happened there is we've extended the island feature more inbound to the site, so it provided better separation between inbound and outbound vehicles. So those types of changes could be things that DOT suggests as part of that modification to address that issue.
Mr. Shaw, so that's a controlled signal intersection to the right.
Yes.
How many feet? 600 something, 700 feet down.
Yeah, the driveway itself, the easterly driveway, is 350 feet from where the signal is.
Okay. Is there any possibility to make the sole entrance and exit to the side street rather than 20? To exit cars onto the side street and then pull into the gas station?
Well, there's a couple of issues. I think we've responded to that comments. We looked at this. I mean, we like to have a side entrance.
Yeah.
It helps us in the business too. But the problem is, if you've been to the site, I mean, we have an issue with the grades. We have a grades about 10% slope. So in order to make it work with heavy equipment, heavy vehicles, it has to be large enough. So you're talking about impact to the wetlands, and we have to deal with the stormwater because we can't leave it gravel. Obviously, it has to be paved.
Sure.
And then at the end, what do we collect? We collect the water. We don't have enough. We have to collect it. We have to treat it. You can't put a structure because basically you're right at the water elevation. So it's an issue it's an impact on the wetlands. I have a meeting tonight with the conservation, and I was going to just test, see what they're feeling about this too. But it has to be at least 24 feet wide, or maybe 26 feet because of that kind of traffic, and then it has to be paved, and we have to deal with I think that was the recommendation, and it was from Mr. Michaud to do a full enter-exit driveway here. That helped a lot with what we wanted to do. And again, we still have to go through a massive.
That side road is, somebody who uses, anybody on this side of Tarleton uses that road all the time. And it is, in the morning, if that was an exit, there'd be no way, they'd sit there because there'd be a line of cars trying to get onto Route 20. It wouldn't work. And then the visual part of when people turn from 20 onto that onto Old Worcester, you wouldn't get out. I can tell you from personal experience.
With the revised plans, I didn't mention this before, but we do have the gates because that was actually one of the recommendations from the peer review. So nobody would access from the public would be able to access the Old Worcester.
And we certainly don't want people pulling up and going around in the
We do. We left it as an option for the fire department. If the fire department doesn't need it, we'll be glad to just seat it and leave it at that, and put a gate at the bottom and nobody can access it through it. So really, it's not. For us, it was more problematic with permitting because of the wetlands and because of the grades. requires, retaining walls and, and impact to the wetlands and
So what does the drive-through support? What type of business?
the drive-through.
Yes.
Would support. I mean, we don't have anybody yet in mind, but
And what's the intention? Is it
the
food?
intention
Is
is
it coffee? Is
yeah,
it,
like a coffee shop. Yeah,
okay. I mean,
it's like what we do with every.
it's not going to be McDonald's or Burger
No,
King.
no,
It's not going to be some sort of
that's
fast food.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I
gonna
mean,
be
we
more
have like
coffee
1,100, probably 1,000 square feet. This is typically what you see with every gas station, like a coffee shop. And we don't have a tenant yet, but we usually do. If we have the permitting, rather than coming back to the planning board, and we're here, so that's good for you.
So we can condition that to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And through the chair, how about operating hours? Is that something the board,
Hmm.
I'm sure neighbors don't want to open it.
No, this is not going to be a 24. I mean, I have my the hours will be probably 5 o'clock in the morning till maybe 10 o'clock at night. 11. Or 11. Of summertime, maybe 11 or 11 o'clock.
Just in case.
5 to 11.
You also mentioned some visual screening, some arborvitae's on the south side. It's not listed on any of the plans. You have a landscaping plan? Did I miss it?
They would have to do this for everything.
I see the
Eastern
landscaping.
Reds here, we have 25 of them on the first,
Which page?
we have the updated plan. It's on the landscape.
I found it. This is the landscape schedule, but there's nothing here.
What's the date on this?
I just know it was a concern of the abutters.
Yeah, no, we do have it. I don't know if you have
Let's
the
do that if it's
updated
everything.
plan.
Could it be based on building?
My plan shows 30, 25 arborvitae's. The Eastern Red Sea.
I see it now. And what is the size at planting?
Planting, be 2 inch, I believe, 6 to 8 feet high.
Okay. Because as you know, New
No,
England, it takes a long time.
I know. No, we know those are fast growing. We do this. Trust me, I know. And with the fence, it's going to help. And the reason I didn't go with I wanted the wood because the wood absorbed the sound better. And as I mentioned, I think the closest resident to this speaker is about 450 feet. So between the vegetation and the fence, and we don't anticipate any. You would hear the traffic from Route 20 before you can hear the speaker from the. And those can be controlled too. Could be conditioned that you can't go over 65 decibels or whatever the zoning. If you have a zoning bylaws for sound, we can comply. If you don't have, we comply with the state. Or you can,
We can definitely limit the hours on the drive-through, but in the condition.
And as I said, as Mr. Michaud, all the recommendation with moving the snow storage areas or expanding that, we don't have. I mean, we don't have any issues meeting any of those conditions.
With the conservation, that's the snow areas.
Well, they're outside the 100-foot buffer, so that's but we can expand them outside the 100-foot buffer, and then we want to make sure. The reason we like them in the pavement because they're being treated. Once you have them, they're going through the stormwater, and they. But again, we can work with you or work with peer review, conservation.
And remind me, were there EV chargers?
There was a comment we have a couple of EV charger ready for. We won't be installing probably the cap, but they'll be ready. We'll do all the installation in the ground.
On the review, it doesn't say. It says no EV chargers.
You might have the old. You probably have the old because
July
we did
15th from Graves. unless you-
July 15th. Oh no.
Trenton code. It must be.
Nothing's required. Just public.
We do show a couple on the parking layout though. I know we did.
Oh, for the resident?
No.
What I just read.
And there was a question. There was also a comment about The air machine, I think we added one too, so, yeah, I'm not sure, I don't see it. I know we added a couple of EV stations, but again, this is the second, we have to address the comments, so.
So the stations to the right are diesel fuel, is that?
Yes, those are the diesel, right.
I'm trying to find it. This is, when you just get it today, it's tough.
Yeah, I did get them this
Yeah.
noon time or this early afternoon, so I just looked through them fast, and we don't anticipate any issues with, I mean, some of them are drafting errors or maybe typos.
Through the chair, Madam Chairman, I think we might want to consider maybe a decommissioning bond on this for the life of the project.
I know what we normally do for.
I think it's up to the property owner to, I mean, this isn't something that is gonna be abandoned. I don't think we've done that for any property.
Yeah.
We can start doing that for every property that's gonna get, it covers it from a business.
Right.
Give it an investment.
Oh, you have it, you wrote it by. That was my mistake, you did add two.
I thought we did,
Yeah,
but I don't
under
see it on the
42,
plan.
Graves said they didn't have them, for air fill stations,
For EV.
so you added.
All right. A couple of things to.
And it's not, that's just a question, it's not a requirement for you,
Yeah.
right? So I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure that if it is gonna be added, that it's on the plan, that's all. And to keep,
It's not
And
mandated.
you're okay with the other comments our engineers come up with to satisfy these comments? I know there's some contingency on Concom and the fire department.
Yeah.
I think you can accommodate
Absolutely.
design changes to accommodate. Okay. Okay. Good.
And then Board of Health is septic, so, right?
Mhm.
The Board of Health.
Right.
and-
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did the perk and they witnessed it in the past, so we don't see,
Yeah.
any issues.
Good. Good luck to Concom and welcome back when any updates you have.
do we have any questions from the audience?
Public comments or questions?
John Perkins, 19 Franklin Hill Road. Based on your experience, and I know this is gonna be DOT's purview, but coming over that hill, would you foresee a benefit to advance notification of the status of that light?
That's often done in cases where you don't have visibility to the signal for what's essentially about 600 feet or so. That's certainly something that could be raised with DOT as a question. It's the signal ahead indicator that you mentioned. It's typically an installation that goes over the highway on a mast arm and is activated so that you have advanced warning.
And then, if someone is lucky enough to get across those to get to the left-hand turn lane, is the existing lane long enough to harbor enough vehicles?
The left turn lane?
Yep, to reverse direction. And also, is the radius at that intersection that's presently there big enough?
Yes, so there is what they call a bulb out there currently to accommodate commercial vehicle U-turns. Those exist at the Industrial Park Road on one end and Carroll Hill Road on the other. So those are sufficient for that purpose. We expect that high-speed diesel refuel vehicles would exit this, get to that U-turn position, use that bulb to reverse direction. Right? That's the intention of the design. The length of that lane is sufficient based on the capacity analysis. The concern that we raised was that there's very little distance between where that driveway is and getting to that U-turn. Right? There's only basically 100 feet or so to get over two moving lanes of traffic. So that will be something that DOT is going to be aware of and will likely comment on. The applicant's current design at least partially addresses that by allowing an alternative way to get to that U-turn by that right in, right out driveway. That's great for standard vehicle types. The larger vehicle types are going to have to use that easterly driveway. There's no way for them to circle back and do that odd route maneuver. But that's something that DOT is going to be very focused on in their commentary, their review.
You got a 50-plus foot trailer tractor combo going across that sucker.
Mm-hmm.
You got 60-foot lanes total, maybe even including.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, and again, it's clearly in their wheelhouse to come up with a solution for that. So I don't know ultimately what they'll make the applicant do. I think that what's shown here is reasonable accommodation for the intended range of uses. DOT could request a further evaluation of the connection to Old Worcester Road. They may very well say, why can't you define why you can't use that connection? Because ultimately, if that were designed as a connection, notwithstanding the concerns that you have about the queuing from the signal, it does afford a better and perhaps safer way to get back to the west through the signal.
And if that were to happen, would you think that a 1 in and 2 out on Worcester Road, they'd have to widen that sucker so there's a left and a right hand turn lane and a straight lane at the intersection? Cut down on the amount of traffic?
Yeah, so the capacity analysis shows, yes, there's queuing that happens on Old Worcester Road, but the amount of delay is actually within acceptable bounds, right? And their trip generation estimates, assuming you have almost exclusively tractor trailers that would use that connection, most likely, the amount of additional traffic there I don't think would necessarily trigger the need for a wider additional lane.
And how far off of that intersection is Mass DOT's purview? Do they go 100 feet from the whatever?
They've got a long reach, believe it or not. Anything that would have potential influence or impact to state highway, even if it's a side street driveway, is within their purview.
So more than likely, if that was the case, and suggested by them, they'd have purview over any changes made beyond that driveway coming up.
Yeah, because that would affect state highway, right? So any potential widening, to your point, would require that they sign off on it.
If I may just add that there's wetlands on both sides of that gravel. So if it was on one side, we would probably look into maybe shifting the road away or something. But really, we don't have much room. But again, I'll have a better idea tonight after I leave this room when I go to conservation too.
I might add, during the consultation process that the applicant will have with DOT, one of the potential outcomes might be, well, rather than having that serve as a two-way driveway, it could serve as an exit driveway for purposes of getting people to the signal. So it wouldn't necessarily have to be a 24-foot wide paved way. There are options for one-way conditions that most likely DOT would ask them to consider, and they would need to demonstrate the environmental constraints or other constraints that might exist that might not make it feasible, but that's part of that process that they'll be going through.
Mr. Michaud, does it help to maybe move the entrance even further west and use the property as a bit of a slowdown lane into?
Yeah, I think there are ways to design the driveway in its current location that would achieve slower speed. So, for instance, right now this thing's 32 feet wide. Right? That's wider than this room. The reason it is because in the gray area you've got this larger sweep vehicle. We're designing one of these actually in Shrewsbury in 20 right now. And DOT's commentary to us was provide mountable scored concrete aprons that flank this driveway so that the effective width of the driveway is 14 to 16 feet, and a tractor trailer can still get over this thing. put in. So the other aspect is that this island feature could be drawn into the site further than is currently shown. So you don't have a circumstance where someone comes in going very quickly to a pump position. They'd have to make a full 90-degree turn and at a slower speed and then proceed. So those are the types of design enhancements that are likely to come out of that consultation process, and we've suggested some in our commentary.
I mean, what Mike says is just rapid slowdown in the travel lane. Make that sweep in.
Yeah.
That's additionally speed into the parking lot, but rapid slowdown in that area. For someone that's unaware of it is a concern.
Because other people don't slow down.
Other people don't slow down.
They don't, they go up to that light and then they slam on their brakes. And then
Or go through it.
Or
I've
go
seen
through it,
plenty
or
go
go
through
through it. I don't know why, it's just,
So DOT has very specific commercial driveway design standards, and some of those standards have this what's known as a taper. Right? It's not a full lane, but it eases. It allows you to go from 40, 45 miles an hour down to 30 relatively easily and gently, and then once you're into a site, then there are other design features like the extension of the island that would then allow you to go from 30 down to 15.
Should we continue until maybe the next meeting, or did?
will you be ready by August 12th, or do you want to get into September?
First meeting in September is the second.
Oh, is it August 12th or August 8th?
Our next
August
meeting
12th.
is August
August
12th. We have one in August, and it's the 12th. And then the next one.
September
would be-
7th or September 2nd or September 16th. It may take you a couple of meetings through Concom to get what you need
Okay.
there, so.
September.
The first
September
meeting
2nd?
or the second?
No, the first meeting is on,
Second?
on the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there'll be another meeting with Concon on the 19th if we do that. Yeah, well, let's do this September 2nd.
Yeah. Any other comments from the public? No? Okay, make a motion to continue this public hearing till September 2nd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Anybody can come in and look at their plans and any of the documents during the open
Thanks for your
hours.
comments.
So,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely have time to come on in and look and the engineers, everything. So,
Thank you.
Yes. Yep.
So we have the continued public hearing for Jesse and Jesse Properties, the approval to remove the mini golf structure and construct a prefabricated 7,200 square foot metal building with 7 rental bays at 860 Worcester Road.
You have an engineer for the project, or? Oops, go ahead, we got, okay.
All right, this is a kind of an interim site plan. I just wanted to go over some of the changes that were made.
Do you want an easel, or do you want an easel?
Just-
Good.
Take it out close.
So this is Route 20.
Oh, it's on, gotcha.
So this is a proposed contractor bay rental building, seven bays on the 360 Worcester Road site, which is a former mini golf site. And we had a preliminary hearing, we got comments from Graves, we've addressed a bunch of those, still have some more that we have to deal with. But one of the big issues was working with the fire chief on the access to the site. So we had more of a curvilinear roadway coming in here, we eliminated that, bringing in a straight shot for the fire apparatus. And we met with the chief this afternoon before the meeting. So we still need to do a little work on the curves for the access around the building. So we're doing that, but we did add some drainage behind the building. That was one of the comments that Graves was concerned that offsite drainage would interfere with our infiltration system. So we took care of that, going that way. We relocated the existing building that, sort of the new golf, that's going to be like a rental building. There was some additional parking here. We expanded the parking lot. There's two criteria for the parking for the building. One says 14 spaces, the other says 28 spaces. So we have 18 spaces here now, kind of shooting toward a middle ground. 2 of them are handicapped if we require that.
Why is there multiple criteria?
I'm sorry.
What creates the multiple criteria for parking?
Well, there's 2 different building designations. You could say this might fall into this one, or it might fall into that one. It doesn't fall specifically under any of the, things listed in the town regs. So.
Okay.
So.
And you've been working with Kurt on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did expand. We originally had 14 spaces. We're up to 18 now. And a couple additional spaces down through here. The drainage system, we built that up a little bit here, and this one is pretty much the same we had in the initial plan. And we've been working, Ecotech, the environmental consultant's been discussing with conservation about the roadway change, so I just need to get them the updated numbers on that. According to them, we have excess restoration area, so they don't see a problem, but they are working with conservation to bring that up to date. And we've done some other miscellaneous plan changes. We're going to be doing some more. But
okay.
Again, we just wanted to bring the board up to date where we are. And unfortunately, we met back in May, and I was going for knee surgery in June. And it was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. So not much happened in June. So.
Okay.
But we're going to finish this up. I'd like to get it back to Graves before the end of the month.
Okay.
So that we could move forward in the August meeting.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody on the board has any specific questions or.
You were talking, it's mainly going to be now for construction-related vehicles as opposed to your buildings here.
I'm sorry, what?
Most of your rental spaces are going to be construction-related, did I just hear you say?
We're looking at small building contractors, electricians, plumbing, units like that. Somebody that, would come in, use these bays for storage for his material, then pick up things, leave, go back to work.
Okay.
It's not open to the public, so there's not a lot of traffic going in here. And, interim during the day, obviously people could come back and forth, but we don't see this being a high volume traffic situation.
So the reason I'm asking, so you've got the 18 parking spaces. Now, these parking spaces are going to be for registered vehicles only? Not
Yes.
somebody storing a bulldozer or a backhoe or?
Yeah, I mean, whoever renters, they may have a truck that they want to park outside, or they may want to park it inside the unit at night.
But they
When
would be
the
registered.
employees come in, they have someplace to park during the day, and then they leave. So it's not overnight parking for, unregistered vehicles per se.
Okay, that's the question. Because somebody takes a truck off the road, or we're going to put it back on the road, and it sits in the parking lot. And
No,
see it for a long time.
the applicant will make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
It's not a junkyard. So that, I know what you're saying, that does tend to happen. So.
I think we have a bylaw that allows no more than 2 unregistered vehicles in
Yeah.
people's yards.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
There's 7 bays. Is that
7
correct?
bay, yeah,
Seven
there's
bays.
a large bay at each end and 5 smaller bays in between.
Small office space in there, I think we talked about that.
Yeah, there's,
Restrooms and,
each bay has a small
Shall
office,
I refresh my memory?
toilet system.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the other things. There was a question about the well that's on site. And it turned out it actually was at one time a public water supply. That's been discontinued.
Okay.
And we're going to work with the state to get it formally removed.
Okay.
And we talked to the people at the Board of Health.
Used to be
And,
the
you know, they gave us a lot of the background information on that. So,
Red Rose, a little motel thing.
Oh, yeah, the hotel when it was there, that's right. Yeah.
I think that's why it
Time
was the
ago,
public.
25 or more
Okay.
people.
Gotcha. What's that?
25 or more people, 15 more days a
Yeah,
year.
that's right, 'cause
so
there was a
it is.
hotel on that property.
Yeah.
Hotel.
Just so you guys, my partner and I are probably gonna keep half the building for ourselves anyway, from our plumbing company, in his business, that's kind of our intention.
Okay.
But we wanted to do the whole building, so if we ever sold in the future, it's set up for.
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, so as I was saying, it's more small contractor, not landscapers, not auto repair. things
Not
like that.
retail, not public access, okay.
No, there's no public in and out.
Gotcha.
Any of that stuff's all special permit anyway, so we don't want any of that stuff.
Okay.
Actually, I sent a couple, built in to, I believe, Jane. Did I send that to you?
Which one?
I sent
A
you
couple
the,
similar units, similar type stuff?
Yeah, the one right, brand new one right in Leicester.
Comparables.
Yeah, right in where?
Right in Leicester on Stafford Street.
Okay.
It's a brand new
Okay,
building.
gotcha.
And that's kind of like on a postage stamp. There's like no parking at all, and you can't even go behind the building 8 feet. This is nothing like that. At least just an idea what it looks like.
Yeah, this type of units is in very high demand.
Yep.
Small
True.
contractors.
So you're working with fire, right, so you're good. Do we have any comments? Did
We had one meeting with conservation.
Yeah, conservation had the initial meeting and they've, put it in abeyance until the board has.
did you have
Anything
any
outstanding?
comments on this?
Yes, so right now the
So
current.
Ecotech is still working with them, verbally to keep them updated. So.
And
So the comment that I received from Kurt says, this office echoes the comment of Graves Engineering. I have not actually received the comments from Graves Engineering. But lacking specified use of the building, compliance with allowed uses, sufficiently of parking spaces cannot be evaluated. The main concern is just knowing what the uses are in there, and there are different ways that this can be approached, where you talk about the things that are special permit. If the board knew kind of what that range of uses are, you could permit that with certain conditions to address certain uses. If there was automotive as a use that you wanted to pursue, maybe you have to make sure that all
So
the
people aren't gonna
have
be
oil
fixing
capture or something
cars
like
So
that.
if a tenant wanted to be like automotive, say we even allowed that, that'd have to be on them to go for a special permit directly. We don't want that property anyways.
Potentially. So it could be, and that would be up to the board as well.
It could be a condition that
that,
doesn't happen.
that you're not gonna have somebody,
Not allowed.
changing
We
oil
could-
or
we
not.
could- You'd be okay with conditioning that, so. that-
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe
Yep.
that's.
We don't want that
that's
anyways.
probably good.
And then a potential use that you may have and you may like to pursue, but might not be right from the get-go. As part of the special permit process, the board could allow a certain type of use, and then maybe not requiring a full special permit review when that comes in. There's different ways to approach that, and I'll work with you folks and kind of how best to approach that.
That sounds good.
Appreciate it.
So, when will you be ready to come back?
So you have a meeting the 2nd of October, and the next one
No,
would be
we have
16th?
we have 12th.
August 12th or September 2nd? You want to shoot for August 12th, and we can always
Yeah.
continue, and we can push it off again if.
Yeah, if we get it to Graves, hopefully we can get some comment back and
Okay.
get it into more of a finalized phase. So.
Okay. Make a motion to continue the public hearing for Jesse Properties to August 12th.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is that form in case you want to.
Blue Sky Towers. When you're ready, when we're just continuing our public hearing. Glad you're back. We're all excited to have cell phone coverage in that area.
Madam Chair, members of the board, staff, good evening. For the record, my name is George Wall. I'm counsel for Blue Sky Towers. With me this evening is Jesse Marino from Proterra Design Group. He's our project engineer. And fresh out of the Conservation Commission meeting, we have Jeff Mason from Lucas Environmental Group. And also joining us this evening, I think a resident, right?
Yeah.
Joe Ochi
O'Shea,
from SmartLink on behalf of Verizon Wireless. Hi, Joe. I think the last time that we were here was in April, where we presented the full application. We've had 3 peer review rounds with Grave Engineering. The advice that we had along the way, Jane has been so very helpful, is that we've continued 3 times. So I appreciate the board's willingness to let us continue so that we could address the comments from Graves, because Jane said, you want to come back when it says acknowledged.
Otherwise we'll send you out again.
That's right. So I think we, the most recent report, I'm guessing that you folks all have that from Graves?
It should be a
My response?
July
July
13th
13th.
report.
I'll print it right now.
Are they all acknowledged?
They are all acknowledged.
Perfect.
Well, actually, let me retract that. They're all acknowledged. There were 22 different comments from Graves. The very last comment, number 22, we had submitted the O&M plan, and it was not yet signed by the landowner or Blue Sky Towers. So I have with fresh signatures.
We
Yeah,
have a
just
fire
give me
plan,
that.
we've got a plan with the fire department, everything.
Yeah, we've spoken already.
May I just read?
We're
Yeah,
satisfied.
thank you.
Thank you.
Leave one of these for you. I gotta remember my manners.
No, it's you're all good. We're all
Get your
good.
steps in.
I need those.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I think that was the one comment from Graves' review that was outstanding. There were 4 waiver requests in the comments that, of course, he deferred to you folks. And then I think there's, the last time we were here, we talked about a removal bond, and we recently submitted, I'm not sure if you folks have, I did bring copies of that, but I think Jane said she might have distributed. Jesse put together an estimate with regards to what it would cost to take that down. So from our review from Graves, from Michael, who's been, just so you know, in the interim from when we were here in April, we did, after each of his peer review comments, he was gracious enough to schedule a Zoom meeting with Jesse and I and another engineer to go through those comments so that hopefully we were able to, based upon the acknowledged, we could get through those comments. So I'm not sure if you want to review those. Jesse, I think, is prepared to talk through those, or how do you would like to address that?
Can you remind me of Just I normally we have these plans
Sure.
ahead of time, so we're a little off today. But
Yep.
the waivers, what were they?
So, yeah, I had, I think I distributed the list of waivers, but there are four waivers. If you'd like, I can go through those.
Okay, I have it in front of me, I'm sorry, but.
Okay.
I mean, I did want it read to me, but.
I think we did chat about those briefly at the last meeting.
It's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. We agree.
There's four. Two of them are pretty easy site-related ones, if I recall. One was had to do with a fence height, I believe. So we have a 6-foot chain link fence, but for security, there's some barbed wire on it. Because we're so far away from the road and butters, I don't really think there's an opportunity for folks to see a lot of that. So that's on there.
And the tower itself is fully gated around.
It is gated, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah,
How about the
exactly.
access road to get into there? Is there anything there, or
That's a good
is that
question.
open?
I don't recall if we have a gate there or not. That's a good question. Sometimes
Off
we
that
do, sometimes we don't. Yeah. Let me look at that. That's a good
I just
question.
think it's a pretty rural road, knowing some of the utes in the area.
Utes.
The 3 Utes.
When
Utes.
Yeah, when they're
Yes,
painted with feet.
we have an access gate. It's
Okay.
a little bit further into the site, but we could certainly push it back. It's kind of sort of by the tree line.
Okay.
Instead of having it way up
As long-
here.
As long as it's within
Yeah.
sight of the road.
Yeah, there's, so the Beagle Club has some areas that they can get access to here, so
Okay.
the idea is
Okay.
we put this access
That's
gate
fine.
sort of by the.
That's fine, that's fine.
Yeah. I think one of the other things is maybe a landscape plan, and because we're 800 still feet off the road behind those trees,
Yeah.
we don't have a formalized landscape plan. But realistically, there isn't really that much tree clearing because back in 21, 22, they did some tree thinning and clearing, and we're pretty much sticking to those areas. I mean, there will be some, but not acres of clear cut or anything like that.
Okay, do we have any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay. We should close the hearing, right?
There's a few plan changes we could go over if you're interested.
Yeah, I mean, if this plan changes something different than what we saw before.
Real minor
Based
stuff.
on-
Okay,
based
let's
on
just go over it. So,
Yeah.
in between last time and this time, Curtis, I believe is the building commissioner, assigned a 911 address.
Okay.
So the underlying property is 103. So one of the now that if the tower is built, it'll be known as 91 Bond Road.
Okay.
So how you guys want to deal with that on the permit, maybe it's an AKA or what have you, but that was a comment.
But the lot numbering didn't change?
No, I think it's just because it's a leased
Yeah.
premises and it needs its own 911 address.
Address.
Yeah,
But not the lot.
but not the
itself.
lot
Yeah.
itself, right? So it's a little bit different than you normally see, but we just wanted to make that point on that. So that was one of the updates. Through the conservation process, there was a peer reviewer, and there was a wetland flag that was added in this region here. Didn't affect too much, but it expanded a small area and changed the buffer. As far as our impacts, pretty much the same, but that was a change here. Again, we have Lucas Environmental here that we could talk about that if there was a question on that, but it's pretty minor. It was something that I believe they did on their walkthrough and wanted that changed. One of the comments from Graves, and you talked about it last time, but you wanted a detail of it, was to provide a paved apron out by the street. So now we have done that. There's a 20-foot wide paved apron here, and there's a detail later on in the sheet that describes that. In this location here at the crossing,
based on peer review by Ecotech and discussions over at Conscom, there were several minor tweaks that were made to that. One was the location of the culvert. Before we kind of had it a little bit east. They wanted it more central, so it was moved back. We also, one of the comments was to provide grades on the top and the bottom of the wall. We've done that as well, and we were able to optimize this area, kind of reduce the wall. We were like 5 or 6 feet before, now we're down to about 4 feet, so that's good. Might allow us to use a smaller block, a little bit easier to build. We were able to do that with minor changes to grading. We're still 10% or under on the driveway, so no big change there. We were able to do that. There was a slight modification. There was basically a permit that was done for land or for tree clearing in 2021, and through the process there, the peer review Ecotech determined that there may have been some small impact on this existing sort of crossing here. So there was a sort of a friendly enforcement order that was put forth, basically to have the landowner, it's not really blue sky, to have the landowner that they have to create a mitigation area about 260 square feet, so a pretty small area. We show that where that area is on here. Previously, it was an area that we had a riprap pad and stuff, so overall the impacts that you saw are pretty much the same. That pad was changed out for basically a small planting plan and some wetland mitigation on that. There were 6 test pits that were done. Well, I should say 5 test pits and 1 probe here. So a professional geotech company came here and provided borings. They did it for the tower itself, the access drive, so we can make sure that the retaining wall is designed appropriately for the vehicles that will be used there, and also in the stormwater basin here. So all of that was done on that. Further on, there were just some minor updates made. Again, we talked about the pave aprons, a little detail of what that would look like. The driveway section, we talked about it last time. They wanted to know what the different aggregates were for when the driveway was 6% or under, or greater than 6%. There's a little bit different aggregate there for that. One is when it's flatter, it's a 1 inch minus, and when it's a little bit steeper, we're using a little bit bigger rock so it doesn't wash out. Nothing bigger than realistically 2 inch, so it's still not anything too large there. One of the other comments that Graves had was in our basin, our stormwater feature, they wanted to have us provide a monitoring well. So we show the location of the monitoring well in there, and we provide a detail, and that's just for maintenance purposes. I would add that he had suggested possibly a condition of approval before this was built to test the area for seasonal high groundwater. Just so you know, they did these 2 borings, and I believe the report was sent to you. They didn't have any groundwater to about 10 feet. This is an outwash area. It's all kind of sands and gravels in that area. So don't believe there's any real concern for that. So we're not concerned with that at all. We provided an explanation of that, and also there was some, we provide some information and some curricula vitae on the people that did the testing. So, their qualifications and what have you. So they were doing as well. But we do also have that monitoring well down to that 10 feet. And like I said, that full boring depth, they didn't run into any groundwater, which makes sense because we're up on a knoll here, and we're still a few feet higher than that wetland area. So all that checks out, makes sense to us. The other thing is that the borings are done in April. As everybody knows, April is a pretty high groundwater season. So if you're going to see high groundwater, you would generally see it in that time frame. So that is basically the changes that were there on the drawing. So not a huge change from 30,000 square foot view, but basically some items that were requested by Graves to clean up.
Questions through the
Sure.
chair. So who is the responsible party? Sorry, I like that.
So within the lease area, so both of them are on there because in this situation, Blue Sky Tower has a lease with the underlying landlord. And in that lease, they allow, it's allowed that we can maintain the features and the compound here on the site. So what we've done on that is to acknowledge that there is agreement between both parties. We have both parties sign it, but what that means is that Blue Sky portion of the easement and driveway and compound would be the responsibility of them.
So Blue Sky's responsible, and it
Yep.
is something like, you know, the maintenance contract.
Yeah,
responsible
they have some of
party.
them. They have their own people that do some of it, but they also hire out to
Yeah.
folks. Things need to be done.
But not the Beagle Club. It's Blue
Correct,
Sky's
correct.
maintenance on the hook for that. The
Yeah,
law.
they would not be. It's them acknowledging it because no in-fee property has changed hands, right? They're just there's a lease agreement, so that's how it's.
Will
One of
this
the-
continue to be owned by Blue Sky, or is this something that Blue Sky does, builds and sells?
I can answer that.
I'm not sure of the answer to that, but they own more than 1,000 towers now. I think it's something that they'll hold on to.
Part of their portfolio.
Yes. There was a comment in there that Graves wanted to have some additional maintenance timelines about and some things to check on the maintenance plan as it related to the gravel driveway. So that was added. Pretty minor stuff. Normally that's kind of centered around all the best management practices and the stormwater features, but because of the driveway in this case, he wanted some of that added, which was added.
Yep, I see it. Thank you.
Yep.
So one thing that Graves did comment for comment 20 was additional test pits in the basin.
Yeah,
during
I
construction.
don't think that's necessary at all, but we're not opposed to that
As a condition.
I just think that in this case, we had a whole professional geologist go out there and do multiple borings for the purposes of structural and this, and nothing was found at 10 feet, but we're not opposed to that. I think in our explanation here, I can read it. It's nothing to dwell on if that's what you want to do, just really an extra step. But so the guys that did it, one's a professional geotechnical engineer, one's a geologist. It was also overseen by one of their other vice presidents. But basically, we give them the resumes. So the kinds of seasonal high groundwater where you would see modeling in these features would be something that would have more silts and clays in it, or like sandy loams, till. This is more outwash, so you don't really get those features in that. And if you do see them in there, they're not usually an accurate representation. And that's what they were trying to say, that the standard soil mining is unreliable in these granular soils anyway, and that estimating seasonal high with those, it lacks the type of features that you'd use to provide it there anyway. So their point was water wasn't even observed at one of the worst times of the year to 10 feet below grade. We're pretty much accurate with a couple feet maybe of excavation. So we have 8 foot, so there's plenty of buffer in there. So that's why I don't think in this case it's necessary, but
Yeah,
however,
one monitoring well.
we do,
just
we
below
do.
that driveway.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah. So, we can look here too. I have a copy of the report, but for example, at the tower itself, the boring went a little bit deeper, and what I got here, I can kind of read it off. Yeah, so at that depth, the observed groundwater at this location, 674, was some 14 and a half feet down.
Okay.
And where we are here, we're still another 8 feet to that sort of location. So I think there's plenty of buffer there, but again, if that's something that the board sees fit, that's fine. I think originally it stemmed from sometimes CONSCOM has in theirs some of their conditions or bylaws that they want it to be witnessed, but in this case, I don't believe they've asked for that, and we went ahead and got the sort of the full Monty here with the to provide the entire structural review of the soil itself. So we have everything we need to move forward with the structural. So on the top foundation, if
I think it's more the swale, and that is the
Sure.
concern.
Yeah,
When,
and
in the
that-
report, was it wet and flowing during the April testing period?
down here, no.
Yeah.
I think in these areas it still was 2.5, 3 feet down to
Really?
groundwater.
Even there?
Even here, yeah. So
It wasn't even flowing.
Which one?
The,
it doesn't flow across here. There might be some areas of standing water, but you're down at 665, 664 in here.
yeah, okay, that was.
So that's still
maybe
4 feet below where we are. So.
Did you guys submit a
It's-
report?
it's submitted,
that? Okay,
It's
perfect.
with that.
I just wanted to make sure we had a copy of that.
And again,
It is.
if that's what you want us to do, we can certainly do it. It just in this case, I think we're,
Okay, perfect.
with all of that considered, we're still 4.5 feet above that.
Thank you.
Right. Just had some questions on the decom plan.
Sure. Yep.
Scratch that a little bit.
Yep.
So in here it says the responsibility carrier-specific tower, ground-mounted equipment is responsibility of the carrier.
Yeah, so if the tower was ever to be not in use, the carrier would already be gone. Otherwise, if the carrier was there,
Yeah.
it'd be operating. So the
Yeah.
idea, I think, in this, there's not a lot of detail in the bio, but I believe if there is no carrier, there's no Verizon,
Yeah.
and Blue Sky has the tower sitting up there with nothing on it,
Yeah.
the idea is that this bond will cover removing that when there's no carrier there.
Okay.
So if they lose the carrier for a period of time, is there a period of time on that? I mean,
Normally, that's something I think a discussion of how long that period might be, but
that's something we should initiate.
Trigger
Yeah.
decommission.
Exactly, something
What-
to that effect.
I mean, if it sits there for more than a year or two, then
What's
Exactly.
what's reasonable?
One or 2 years would definitely not be reasonable from a tower standpoint. It's a huge investment to build this in the first place.
Yeah.
And if they're going to want to, the government's going to be auctioning off more frequencies in the
Right.
future.
Yeah.
Blue Sky would probably want 20 years, but I would think 10 would be in the reasonable ballpark if I were to speak on their behalf.
So it would be reasonable to have a condition there if the carrier was absent from the tower for more than 2 years? It would
10 years.
10 years.
I would say 10 would be more reasonable.
Absent from the tower, like removed from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. If
Yeah.
they're
These
you know,
towers are
technology's
built to
changing. And,
last forever.
Okay. Okay. I would just think it then would be a new carrier within 2 years. Easily.
You just don't know. They don't want to take down a structure that they spent, $300,000
Right. Yeah, okay.
$500,000 building.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah.
I think some time
Yeah.
limitation is certainly reasonable, right? With that.
so I think
In addition, 10 years.
10 years. 10 years.
At least a meeting about the after 10 years, right? I mean,
Sure.
What I also
Discussion.
see, right, I see discussion within that time period, so we always start with,
What's going on?
what's
yeah.
going on,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, a trigger to have a
trigger.
discussion and
Yeah. Hey, what's going on?
possible
Yeah.
decommissioning. Okay. And remind me what? So there's a power supply in there, transformer, battery.
That stuff would come out.
Yeah.
What would stay is, so what we're thinking is the compound itself, the tower would come down, the fence, this would be revegetated.
Mm-hmm.
But the stormwater and this access, I mean, obviously that gets them, if the tower isn't here, there is a significant amount of upland area that's permitted that the Beagle folks could use. So we weren't planning to take that part out. And this stuff is all outside the buffer that we'd be able to do. So we just come in there and reseed and do that.
Yeah.
Basically, the things that people would see from a distance, the height, the this, the that. That's what's on here. If you want something else, we can talk
Most
about
tower
that.
contracts will discuss maybe 6 inches below grade or something along those lines.
In this
Well,
case-
what's the equipment? Are these transformers in there for the power supply?
Yeah, so
And,
some
that,
of
and tell me more about the batteries that are required.
Concrete pad.
we can talk about
Batteries are
that.
only provided by the carriers. That wouldn't be a blue sky. When the batteries are contained within equipment cabinets that are self-ventilated and everything.
Yeah.
If the carrier's not there, you're not gonna have any batteries on
So,
site.
so what we would, in this, what would be included is the meter center, the transformer,
Yeah.
the batteries, as you say, he's exactly right. There's no, really here, unless the tower is to be lit, and it's not, the Blue Sky doesn't even have a meter here. They don't have anything that generates power, so no batteries into that. That would be the carrier stuff.
In a cabinet, in
Yeah,
that.
and like I said, the thinking here is that if there's no carrier, if there's no transmission of, and it's just an empty tower, that's when you would trigger the
The
removal.
size of that cabinet is.
Yeah, the size of the cabinet is like a refrigerator size, I would say. And that would have the batteries in it. But if there's no carrier, if there's no there's no Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, et cetera, and you're not transmitting any radio frequency.
So not a big container-sized
Not
battery.
anymore.
No.
As a matter of fact, Verizon just changed their footprint to go from a 12 by 20 concrete pad, 12 inches in thickness, to a pad just for the generator, 4 by 8, a pad just for the cabinets, 8 by 7. They're trying to cut costs everywhere, so it's just shrinking and shrinking.
They don't realize that doesn't cut any cost, but that's the difference. You still
Imagine
have to
the
come
scale
there,
of the
you
country.
still have to form it, you still have to.
Somebody got a bonus from it.
It's a materials issue, I guess.
They go back and forth every couple of years.
They really do.
They really do. But yeah, so they're actually, one other good thing is they're going to what they call this all-in-one cabinet. So instead of before having 2 cabinets, they're basically going to one. So, if anything that you see here, like he said, it will be likely smaller than this by the time.
Yeah.
That was pretty recent that they made that.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Or today.
There you go.
Yeah. This one's not going to change because I'm not spending engineering money to redraw the plans. They're going to build it that way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're
gonna-
talking about that kind of stuff.
We just got the lease finalized too.
Sometimes they get a little cute and say, "Oh, we want a little pad here, a little pad here," but like you said, you still have all those same. You still have to buy concrete. You still have to have the guys there for a day. You still have to form it. You still have to put rebar in it. You still have to finish it. So if there's another extra yard, you're
10
not
square feet,
exactly.
doesn't save it.
Doesn't save me. But we do what the client asks us to do. So.
And just another condition was, we might add, so it's okay if we ask you to carry town communications
Yes.
on the pole? And that's,
Yeah, that was one of the comments in the review, and we've agreed to that.
Yeah, and maybe a rack space, obviously.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
sure
rack
there would
space
be
somewhere.
Some ground space.
Some ground space and
Yeah,
something
okay.
on there, sure. Yep, that's very common. Yep. I think it has to be. Correct me if I'm wrong. It has to be in a location that doesn't interfere with who's ever there. But
Yeah, not the lowest on the tower, maybe,
Exactly.
maybe a
Exactly.
little bit
Yep,
higher than
sure.
that.
over here is, this is Berlin Game Road down over here, you can see it.
You use that for one of.
Right up here is the Cultural Arts Center, 31, and here's the entrance to the parking lot up top. Driveway down here.
So these are the only houses really near.
Correct, because this is Flint Road and that is right there on Route 31.
That's on Route 31.
Yep, so Cultural Arts Center's right there at the top.
So it would probably be good to condition hours. I mean, if
So just to keep, so we got generally football practices for the kids would be Monday through football season just starts now. And the majority of when the lights will be needed is daylight savings. So that happens in October.
And we switch over here.
Season ends December 1st. And nothing goes past 8 o'clock. So
lights off by 8:30.
most. And the league has been the league child league football has been very lucky with Nicholas College has allowed them to do one night a year. They're great with it. They free of charge.
Okay.
Open reigns.
Yeah.
Very good as a community to what Nicholas College does. But just want to be able to have it. I mean, it's the kids' home field, and want them to be able to have that opportunity. So.
And they're using this parking lot.
Yep, up top, and then there's a part of one of the Amazon upgrades that Amazon provided to the
bandstand.
No, not the bandstand. They paved down here.
All the
Paved a lot down here, made it ADA compliant. Handicap handicap parking down below, and then new snack shack. So
It's really beautiful.
Where's the bandstand going? Is that supposed to go down?
The proposal would be filling up in this area up top here.
Behind the community center?
Yes. So
you need lights on the parking lot?
So there is telephone poles heading down here. As you come down, as far as safety purposes, that would be a likely possibility to do that, especially for safety, because there's not enough parking spaces down below. So if you have practice down there at any of these fields, you park up top, walk down the paved walkway, driveway area.
And if you're going to have people there at night, you've got to provide them
Without a doubt.
You know, like the standard, like walkway lights, nothing.
Yeah, you don't need
Yeah.
one light.
Yeah.
So I would say the parking area, maybe 2 lights and the walkway.
There might be some.
There, up top, because there is a practice field up top here that they do have lights already that they currently use. Those were, I don't know what year those were installed.
The Maynard Farm ones, the old, like the whatever before.
For safety. Okay. Is that in the parking area, or is that?
It's actually the field is up. It's right in here.
Okay. Yeah.
So
It's on the park center property.
So as the Recreation Commission, we're just looking to provide more opportunities in the town lacks fields.
We already have, like, our issue is that once it gets, because their season, once it gets dark, there's no place to practice, there's no place to have even, that big, disclosure, I'm also a recreation commission, but,
Right.
there's just, they don't have practice hours, like, you know how we don't have parking, we don't have fields, like, at least we can kind of increase the amount of time they can spread throughout their practices and stuff.
So even if we're prior to installation of any lights, we provide a lighting, looms, and stuff like that, just to provide.
So what do we need for? That's what I mean. The reason is what do they need? What does the Recreation Commission need to submit for a plan? Especially since the former, I think for sure that the whoever lives there now, the abutter.
Correct.
And it's a new person, right? It's
I
gonna be
believe
different.
so. Yeah, and I know that this house has been vacant for many years. No, wait, this one is. One of these two is vacant. I know that for a fact.
Right across from Flint, right?
Correct, right on Flint Road, yep.
Is it 8-foot stockade fence?
Yes, that is, yes, it is. And it's pretty grown, but I'm not, when leaves fall off the trees and that's when football season is,
So
You
you
can,
can
you
see
can
it.
look at, you can look, if you drive down Flint Road, look to the right, and you look down the football field.
Okay.
So,
So it's whatever the board feels that wants to be submitted.
Have you done any outreach at all? Have you talked to the neighbors? I mean, somebody must have complained
No.
about the first time you get that condition.
yeah, and I don't think that neighbor does not live there anymore,
Okay, so
and that's
it-
why the strategic part is to have the light shine
Yep.
away from those houses,
Yeah.
to take that off the table.
But like I said, if you condition it to, the maximum of 8:30.
Correct, in only the months of November and December.
And there's so much more technology. The lights are so much more kinder than they were back
Mhm.
20, I don't know how many years it was, a lot of years ago.
Yeah.
So it'll be,
Put it to 9 o'clock.
so you can clean up the field and make it better.
Right.
So would we need a public hearing? I think probably, just to get it out there.
Yeah,
and-
okay,
and-
probably,
and do it.
but yeah.
And do a plan revision or.
Yeah, site plan modification.
So we need a public hearing, so
make and
what about,
model
so
of the lights.
notifications, so we have to notify butters and how is
Notify the
that?
butters and an ad in the newspaper and
So
we'll post it just for a
can we
public hearing
waive-
and hopefully, we
Can
can
we
talk
waive
about it.
any fees?
I think, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can look at the cost, I think, can you cover the cost of the advertisement? I mean,
The
it's just-
mailing, advertising,
the mailings and
mailing
those-
won't be that bad, because it was a 100-foot, how many, what, how
Maybe
many
a
foot
300
radius?
foot buffer, 300 foot radius?
Three?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the average mailer cost?
It just went up, $10.98 per envelope.
Okay.
We have.
I mean, I think it's, yeah, covers, gotta come out of that.
And then you do
And whatever the advertising is for a special, so what would the cost be for, I mean, I don't think we need to do,
It's been in the paper twice, so $150, $160.
so we're talking a couple $100, few $100.
And you can waive the site plan.
Okay.
What is originally
Yeah, we can waive our fees.
Yeah.
Wasn't your plan?
I don't think we'll need,
After 9 o'clock at night?
I don't think we'll need a peer review.
You don't need to-
Possibly, I'm not aware of it. I wouldn't
No, I mean,
surprise me.
this was a long time, I was
Okay.
when I was on the baseball.
Yeah, possibly.
But there was a thing, because they didn't want kids going down there.
Oh, I get it.
It was a
It's,
drinking spot.
well, yeah, it's very dark.
And now it's beautiful, really nice down there, so.
They did a good job.
So,
power coming down here somewhere?
There's already, I mean, there's power to the snack shack,
Yeah,
and there's power to here, there's a scoreboard right here, there's power too.
Well, take a drive down there when you're bored.
Yeah,
It's really,
Yeah, take a look at it, it's pretty cool.
So you don't have
It's
to, there's no big site work, you just gotta trench.
It's
it,
more or less
sand
with
it.
would be light posts and then the electrical. And I mean, from the football side, there's great grants available from the NFL as far as the youth sport program that they have available. So it's all a matter of exploring that and seeing what the options
I'll
are.
see what you get from donations from Ted's.
Yeah, and the advertisers know we're
Yeah.
lucky. I mean, I think back years ago, McGee Toyota in Dudley was a huge donator, and I think there's been other silent donators who
And we
play,
have like a-
play in the league.
like
I
we
think
put
Ted
the
has
shelf
donated
of
just about
them.
everything.
Yes.
He did a good job. I have to get out and see that, it's been a long
Yeah, check
time
it out.
since I've been down there.
So I'm sorry, recreational cover costs, we'll waive planning
All
board
right, I
fees.
appreciate that.
I don't think we need a peer review, we can look at the.
And no
lights.
fancy site plan, literally just.
Draw the lights, draw the
Yeah.
lights.
Yeah, I think we need some lights, and we probably need some.
No, I'm
some
gonna get
lighting
model and
engineering.
make of the light,
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
the model light.
and then the loom.
The looms. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we just need to make sure that, for the safety, nothing leaves the property.
Oh, I absolutely. That's why.
There'll be a little bit of engineering, but,
That's fine.
but minimal.
But I'd include the path, and if you need to add something to the parking lot, add those.
Okay.
Doing it the whole time, if you wanna light up a piece of the practice field, light that thing up too,
Okay. All right.
right? If
Perfect.
you're gonna do it.
Yeah, because I know what they do at the schools, because they practice at Heritage School. They've been using the mobile lighting. They pull behind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so when daylight savings time hits, I mean, generally they practice down here. At least one team does, and they move up top once daylight savings hits. So
Yeah.
just provide more area.
Yep.
If you shine lights this way, what's?
No, that's not. This isn't part of it. It's only
No?
on this playing
You only
field.
wanna do that?
This field.
You don't wanna do that?
That's it.
That's
I
like
just,
the
I,
warm-up
cause
field
listen,
for
I mean,
other
cause there's
teams.
no electricity close to
Yeah,
here.
okay.
Cause you got,
Yeah.
it's a good amount of distance traveled there.
And it's really just a warm-up field, right?
It
Like
is, and then a
yes.
prep, yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
So,
Any more room to put any other fields down here?
so,
What can we do?
I think this is an upland area, you'd have to do a crossing here.
Yeah.
That would be, an
Put
option,
another
an option, so.
Soccer, baseball.
Bro, it's
Because the original
really
plan was a
we
soccer.
need fields and parking
Yeah.
desperately in this town.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, parking's tough here because for games, they gotta park at,
That
elementary.
elementary school and walk down that
Yeah.
life-threatening path
yeah,
that,
it's
um,
tough.
Is this field flat over
Yeah,
here?
dead flat. Can't miss it. Can't miss it. You'll see the poles, telephone poles with the lights on them.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Just think of it right.
Yeah.
You'll
now,
notice
now
it
you
now.
need a field trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
Now you definitely need to go take a
Yeah,
field trip
yeah.
down there.
Yeah, you always drive by. You know,
I've never been down to that field. I mean, my kids were all out by the time that was built.
You never know what's there. And
I've seen it from Flint.
When you
I've
go
driven
down,
up Flint Road,
just
you can
ignore
see
the
it, yeah.
red tower thing.
I did look over and go, oh, that's what that is.
Just pretend that that's not there. Everything else is beautiful.
what are the plans to put a field? You just need
No, I
money?
mean,
You
I mean-
just need money to do it?
like anything, yeah. That and I guess what field to put there because like the thing is like parking. It's tight parking.
But
Because
for all downtown. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not just, it's like behind the
across the
library,
board.
there's
Yeah.
just no, there is no, and someday, if we ever have the opportunity to pull, like we've had a million times and we never, to pull some of those houses down on Main Street that are just
Mhm.
there and make it extra
Yeah.
parking, it would be very helpful.
Can you pull off of Burlington?
So-
Park in here?
well, it's a wetland. I wish.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, it's all wet right through
Yeah,
here.
as soon as you get down the hill.
Yeah. That's wetland.
That's all
boundary.
wetland boundary here. Then you got a wetland right here.
I mean,
There's a
the,
lot of wetland in Charlton.
a lot of behaviors.
It's a lot of wetland.
Yeah.
The other option is now to start looking for, down on the other side of Shelton for other fields and other, possibilities.
Mhm.
But anyways, this gets us one step
No,
closer
yeah,
to giving the residents, more recreation space, more field space, because
Okay, I'll get this, some more light areas posted on this, and then I'll get that paperwork on the on some lighting.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not too much of a burden.
perfect.
All right, thank you guys very
All
much.
right,
Yes. go ahead.
question for you. What's the timeline you're looking to get submitted and on the agenda?
Probably the September meeting because I heard it when I was sitting outside.
September.
Just and if something changes, I'll come in.
Just so we have,
Just remember, it's gonna take a couple of weeks to post in the paper.
Yeah,
or that.
yeah, September, because, I mean, football season, won't be, oh, I appreciate it,
that's
thank you very
summer,
much.
maybe call
I
that.
appreciate it, thank you very much. I mean, it won't be this season, we're looking to get this done. So,
Okay.
it's more or less to get that part of the site plan so there's an allowed use down there on that site.
So if you're gonna do a public hearing you're not gonna do a public hearing on the 2nd, because that means the mailings are gonna have to go out this week, so you wanna do like mid-September?
Maybe not October.
Okay.
All right.
That'll give you some time.
look at them pushing
October
you,
7th?
you're bossy.
That's
That's all
just
right, you guys wanna keep it moving, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Depends how full these,
So,
if it's gonna slow down in your
Russ
end,
used
it's
to
on
be
the
planning
agenda.
board member. Gillen is
Yeah,
our
sure.
brand new
Okay.
planner. This is his
Perfect.
first
Welcome.
meeting.
Oh, nice.
Jump it on in.
Yeah,
Fortunate,
jump right in.
fortunate.
Can't be afraid, huh? I love it.
He's got experience coming from the city of East Hampton too.
Big
Oh,
old
nice.
city.
Planning, over there, so he knows what to do.
That's great, welcome.
First 3 days, he's already jumping in.
That's it. Between the batteries and this, it's good.
Can't be,
Okay.
can't be
All right.
afraid. All right, I appreciate it.
Thank
You guys have a
you.
good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Thanks again.
Good seeing you, don't be a stranger.
Yes, thanks. Definitely
All right, so do we have the Kozowski Lambs Mylar signing? I don't know what,
That was all good.
This is,
No,
this is,
is it because we didn't sign it last time?
It's possible, this is for the
yeah,
town
this
meeting?
is it. This is actually.
That's the land states as, it's the as-built.
Yes, well, okay.
Yep.
And we have.
That pen will travel.
Could you please sign the paper copies too, because I need to give them to certain departments.
Yep.
Thank you.
Everything. July 15th, yes.
Just buy you a stamp. We just buy you a stamp. It's actually good that we get out and get out of our seats. It's cold.
Need the sugar.
Hotter here than there.
Huh? Did you go? Did you
I was
go
in
back?
LA for 2 weeks, and I came back and I'm like, it's hotter here. It's like,
You're not looking for sympathy, are you? No? You're not going to get it from me. How was it?
amazing. We, by accident, were there for a live volcano. I have videos of the volcano.
Really? Wow.
Like people have it on their bucket list. It was just like, we'll go on that day. Yeah, we got to feel the heat from the April. I don't take a 2-week vacation. It's like a work trip, but we're pretty cold for 2 weeks.
Yep. You want both papers signed?
Yes, please.
Okay.
There's a couple pages.
Oh, all the papers.
Was there any issues with 140 bond, or that one's good to sign as well?
They have to review it and then.
Is that just an A&R?
It's an A&R, but you should look it over.
You need another
But there's no
signature,
issues
yeah.
with it.
Yep.
You're just creating one lot.
Another one for your review, and then signature after a vote. Yes.
This is Bond Road?
Yep.
Yep.
It really is good to move around. It's a long meeting.
Yeah. I've already taken the record for the longest one I've had in East Hampton, but that's because they adjourned at 8:30, whether there's stuff left on the agenda or not.
I think we've had one till 11 before.
Yeah, I think.
Yep, they said witching hours arrived.
Yeah.
We did 11 before, so.
Yeah, we've hit 11 before, but.
That was rare.
Well, if you ever had to stop and then recontinue like into the town. Remember at the town meeting, they had to do that once. They had to.
Yeah. So they're just breaking this lot up. This good
What
one?
is that?
Bond. With them right there. Sufficient frontage. Glory. Oh, yeah. 3 papers, 1 Mylar. There we go. That's better.
Yep, perfect, thank you.
Did I miss a signature on one of them? I did. Yeah, I only did 2 papers.
Do we do anything with the lot release? How we got all the stuff first?
Yeah, just
That's
have
just the
them
vote, right? Yeah.
vote first, right of refusal, they don't.
I think I made it.
Got it.
And that's just a quick letter that we give to Mary.
You guys have one job.
I'm retired.
I'm the only one that's not retired on this board. I'm like I feel like the big loser here.
Did you vote on that A&R, yes?
We did not.
I think you any.
Yep. No comments from the building office on this.
75. Yeah. Exact. 140 and 34 and check is exactly.
Exactly right. Because they're not going to spare one extra
Not
foot.
an inch. Not an inch. All right. Make motion to accept the A&R for 140 Bond Road, Reardon Builders.
A second.
Oral motion? I'm sorry, all in favor? Aye.
It's getting late.
Aye. Aye.
It's weird to have like the easy one. We've been getting like these crazy ones. You got me.
Thank you.
The extension, do you have an extension request? What do they want? What is the, they have a letter to us?
I have the pre-written letter here, so it's dear Mr. and Mrs. Gibbons, at the July 15th, 2026 Charlton Planning Board meeting, the board reviewed your attached request dated July 1 to extend the approval period for your North Sturbridge Road reduced frontage special permit. To extend that plan approval period of 1 year to July 17th, 2027. Yeah, they made a request.
So make a motion, we extend the Gibbons, formerly known as North Sturbridge Road, reduced frontage lot to July 17th, 2027.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Approved. We have a lot release, a 61B lot release from St. Mark Coptic Striking.
I make a motion that the planning board recommends the select board take no action on that.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Any unknown business at time posted?
Yeah, I'll just give you guys some updates here. Number one, just kind of jumping into this meeting to see how you guys run business.
Okay.
One quick lesson learned here. I'll make sure to have Graves packages printed out and ready for you to start every meeting. In terms of getting information out to you, for the time being going forward, I'm just going to, as it's received, send it out. As I kind of get a little bit of a better feel for applicants, kind of what's needed.
Okay.
I may try to organize it better, so I'm not just just constantly getting emails from me.
Okay.
That would be a little more organized, but just expect emails coming out for it.
And
We do have
shared-
a share drive.
Okay.
If you can, you're more than welcome to get in there and organize that and post things to specific meetings. That would be nice to have. Then we can always look back on a specific date and what was
If you will bear with me as a moment, I'm just going to pull this up here. I'm going to show you. And format here, I can totally willing to work on. I'm only going to fight this so much at this hour, but let's see if we can.
Are you connected?
I'm about to be. I have to go through Windows here, and it's a little slower than I would like.
Remember when we got this TV, and it was so much cheaper to just go buy a regular TV than wanted a smart
Good
board.
mod, yeah. You wanted us.
We're gonna get it, and then we're like, oh, why don't we just get a TV?
Well, I don't get to navigate this at this hour, so I'm just going to
That's
show you
fine.
all here on my computer.
Okay.
Pretty simple. Now, so, then, so what I'm going to be doing here, I may try to make this a little bit clearer, but the idea is as I receive materials, post them directly to the website, right at this top link here.
Okay.
And the idea is try to organize everything by year.
Great. And this is a public page here.
Yeah, this is a public page. I'm getting network errors here,
That's fine.
kind of isn't displaying it. But right now, what's in here is we have, what's the name of that project for next week?
For the next meeting,
Yeah, those two new ones that came on.
we have,
We have two projects in here. I'm going to figure out what's going on with the website, why it's not loading the
Good.
moment I care to show somebody what's happening with it. But
These are our two for the next.
it'll be all submitted materials, and I plan on organizing it in such a way within between each meeting, everything that was submitted, both from engineering reports, resubmissions by the
Years ago,
applicants.
we were making sure that every, all the set of plans, because it's so much easier for for the public to access, to be able to see what we're looking at.
For big projects, yeah.
I mean, we always can request anything electronic from, most of the engineers do their stuff on.
So here you are. I have this one here. This is going to be 123 Worcester Road. So the initial submission, and this is everything I've received from the applicant. So we have, the application here.
Yeah, great.
Robert Romansky, you can see all that. So as I receive any new applications I'm getting in,
Okay.
I'm requesting electronic. That way I can also just upload them here.
Okay.
I'm open to different formats, but this is the general idea.
Okay. The big thing is naming conventions. So, what is SPR 26?
That is just how we're titling our special permit request
Special permit.
2026, and then it's the second one for this fiscal year. I'm not married to this naming convention.
Right,
That's
right.
just what I've inherited, and I'm likely going to change it to something a little clearer.
The address and owner's name is kind of handy to put on there, or
Or even just an address, I mean, maybe.
Yep, and it has the address immediately after.
Yeah, okay.
But it's going to have a standard. That way, it's always ordered by when it was submitted.
Yeah.
By
I like
year.
that. That's what we do in work, because
Yep.
it's the only way to.
Exactly. And then you can keep adding to it.
And do we keep this on, the only thing that concerns me about having a public website is everything's searchable from any Google document anywhere, so,
So this is, and I'll just, sorry to cut you off.
Yep.
I've experienced the problem. I know you're
Okay.
about to say where I've
Okay.
gotten requests. Google, my name comes up and my address. We do have discretion of just when I see something that's like public names, people's things.
Yep.
I'll generally black out cell phone numbers of developers.
Mm.
If somebody wants that, they can submit a public records request and we can give it to them.
Yeah.
It just makes it that it's not
Yeah.
immediately available
I
for
think
Google.
permits, I think plans need to go up, like,
Sure,
plans.
and some of them
and even,
information, but.
I don't
I'd be
know,
careful.
typically we don't put, our graves reports up there.
That's, sure, that's true.
I don't know.
So
if
that kind of stuff is what we've been using the share drive for. So
Mhm.
it's only accessible by, you control the access to it, so
Mhm.
it's only accessed by members.
I don't know if there's anything
DVD
ever
communication.
confidential, and I'm all for, public access.
Yep.
I just always worry about having too many versions of too much data out there, and the cost of sharing data, because I'm auditing that right now.
Sure.
So it's,
I'm more worried about providing client data to the World Wide Web for any search engine anywhere that wants to, mine data. I prefer with names and addresses. I prefer to have, enough information out there on what the planning board is doing so people can know. Then they can come to us to get more information. That's kind of, I'd like to kind of firewall that stuff.
yeah, I just don't, I just. I
With
just
with
remember
AI now,
when
search
you
engines
fall
go out there,
under-
everything's
like
used for
you,
learning.
like fall under what, like, I mean, I've never looked at, what we fall, we have all this data, the data protections we have around names and addresses and phone numbers that are a big deal.
Mhm. So I think projects, that kind of information can go on what we would normally put on our public site, but for grade reports and engineering reports and things like that, I think we're better off firewalling that and providing access here for people that want to come in here, but not providing all that data out to the
And
world.
it's for exactly what you said, because you're gonna have bots going, you're gonna have just, it collected for whatever purpose that,
Well, it's just like what we did tonight with the gas station.
Yep.
You can't put all the information out there about everybody's name and stuff.
So that's my only concern with doing it on the publication.
I can just put a note of so specifically something like if you'd
This
like
is it.
engineer.
If you want more information, contact the planning board.
Please email.
This
Yeah.
is
and
planning,
honestly, typically, if somebody asks me for something and makes a request, I mean, I've given it to them,
Yep.
as they walk out of the meeting, or I will email it to them directly. And you'll find that most of the requests do come, people go right to the board member that they know and they ask for it. So,
I mean, the only other thing, just put the final
version.
Final decision.
Yeah, the final decision with conditions in it or something like that, just so we know.
I
what
mean,
it
Jan, the
is.
biggest request that people want to see are the plans, right? Like,
Yes,
that's what
absolutely.
they
People
most
want to know what's
plans.
happening,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they can
Where is
get
this?
information.
Not the
and
grades
know
or
what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
And I think it will be
not the
ultimately once
actual
it's
application.
completed,
Yeah.
a file that says decision and
Right.
appendix,
Right.
and that would have final plans
Perfect.
and everything.
And conditions.
Yes.
That's great.
And
I
we
mean,
can-
all of this stuff is public information, so
It
it
is.
is the owner, the street address, so.
It's public
this-
information, but putting it out
Yeah.
Again,
in the World Wide Web in that written form
Yeah.
is
A little heart slows them down a little bit.
could be could be problematic.
Yeah.
I'll also be changing the format here a little bit of the agenda. One, but make it easier for myself and the public of generally trying to keeping all the information that you need, name,
Sure.
address, all those things. I also want to start including the general what bylaw it's being reviewed under. One that would help me just kind of get up to speed with what's in the bylaw, and then anytime any member of the public is interested, well, how is this allowed? All the bylaws that are necessary are referenced, and they can look that up. And then decisions as well. I want to try to get that a little bit more industry standard, where it would be, you have basic information, then you have legal description, procedural history, and then you go right into waivers, conditions, anything like that.
I'm sure. Good.
Try to make sure we're getting in a position where we have, defensible decisions, because I think as we get to the point where, we may have appeals come in, we want decisions to be kind
I
of
think
the
we have very
strongest.
many issues with decisions, except for the maybe BDD, but.
Except the big ones.
There's been quite a few. Yeah, there's been a few here and there.
And we also, we have legal counsel, so whenever we need them, they're always available for questions.
So I'm just thinking about the public-facing website, and then, as Don mentioned, we've got the SharePoint, and it would be good to use the same naming convention, I think. So in the SharePoint, we have like meetings, January, February, March, and then I guess you could put, SPR 26-3-4 or something like that. Yeah. And then you could put all the Graves reports and all of that in there, because you got to put them somewhere anyway.
And you can talk to IT about the link
Yeah.
to the SharePoint. They can get your name on it if you're not
Yeah.
probably already, or I could add you.
Yeah. But that would be great, because we haven't been doing that, that would be great to just stuff everything in the SharePoint. Otherwise, it just sits on a laptop somewhere, so.
And so, you know, the town, we have our own sort of Facebook page that Dawn created because we never,
Just for communicating publicly.
because a lot of old people now, like, that's where they get up there. It's the truth, right?
It's true.
That our information,
It gets
out
spread around,
there.
at least, people talk.
But our Charlton website isn't actually the most user-friendly or nice-looking or anything, but, so good luck
I
with
just
that.
got a message on the planning board that asked us if we want to monetize it now because we've got enough followers.
Is that right?
We
Yeah.
can,
Definitely
we
do
can
it.
start
Definitely
monetizing
do
it and use that money to.
That whole
Golf
35
ball.
cents will be like,
Hey, I finally got that ESA postcard in the mail.
I know I saw that.
Everybody did.
Yes, so did I.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Nice.
But
A day late.
if we
July.
Right.
like I want us to be more out there and pushing our stuff. I mean, even if I don't know, it might be nice to do little sort of like, this is what happened. I've been reading somebody like short little posts, or is that too much? Only because you have me on all the community pages. I mean, me everywhere on these community pages saying, heads up, this is happening. Heads up.
I usually
to
post the
YouTube,
agendas
put a link
2
to
days in
our
advance or something.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Like,
I just
if
think-
you're interested in what happened, here's a link to the YouTube. Watch the meeting.
You could do a show at the studio, and then I could put on YouTube also. You could do 10,
Oh
15
yeah,
minutes.
do an
anytime you
interview
want.
with Patsy.
Oh,
Sit down with,
yeah, right. That's what everybody wants. They
just
do.
sit down,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
Want to give an
or
update?
we could have a sit down with our new
True.
planning director and get his name up there.
Who used to do that? We used to do those interviews.
Who used to do that?
They used to, Selectmen used to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
They would go over
Oh,
whatever
we could
the
be cooler
town.
than the selectmen. Oh, that's not hard, but like we could be cooler than them.
Dick,
Alright, so
Dicky did us.
we're
I've got to get going. So,
Good.
would you
Excellent.
guys-
Thank you.
Is there anything else that?
All of you have, I've got the town issued cell number.
Yep.
Yep.
Shoot me a text
Gotcha.
anytime, give me a call.
Yep.
If any of you guys want to meet prior to the meetings, let me know. I'll make myself available. That's totally optional.
If you have questions on us, let us know.
Yep, we'll do.
yeah.
And
Normally
then-
I'll be in here. I mean, the chair comes in earlier to kind of just so if things want to have a clue. But any of us have a clue when we're
It's good to have any materials we might need for the meeting, plans, if they've got extra set of plans that we can look at instead of trying to oversee everybody. Raise reports, any other reports from engineering reports, just so we've got something to look
yeah,
at.
typically everybody comes in a little
And-
early and we flip through.
And once again, if there's time to get those ahead of schedule onto the SharePoint, give us time to review it if we have time before we get in here, because we are in here like this trying to go through everything and stuff. So it's,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
trying to print them out on the fly.
And a lot
as well.
a lot of times they give them to you so last minute too that I know that's not
But if they
possible.
come in early, just stick on the SharePoint for the meeting, and at our leisure we can look at them before.
Do you have any vacation coming up or anything we need to know about?
Yes, I have one vacation, same time as Jane. After our August meeting, we are both out that week.
Okay.
And then after that, I'm here. So.
I'm off, I think, for several weeks in September. I might miss both meetings in September or something. So,
Going someplace nice?
Yellowstone.
Wow. Very nice.
Buying another trailer and driving out there?
Flying this time.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you all.